Hello and welcome to today's live coaching call and community conversation. I'm so happy you are here with us today. Today, we are going to be discussing a question that I hear a lot, or a statement that I hear a lot, and that is about being addicted to food. So, am I a food addict, or I am a food addict, or have a food addiction? And we're going to break down what addiction is and some of the things that we can do if we feel like some of the issues that we are having with maybe fasting, or some of the issues that we have with how we're aging, or our inability to lose weight is really an addiction, or could it be something else? So I want to advise you that if you are currently suffering from some sort of diagnosed food disordered relationship, today's conversation might not be for you. If you are joining us today and you are feeling like this could be something that could be triggering for you, I would advise you maybe to just kind of take a pass on today. And I also want to make it very clear that I am not a therapist and I am not a doctor. I am a mindset coach, and I do really help women reframe how it is they're thinking so that they can make choices that will be more informed based on what it is that they say that they want and the actions that they are taking to get there. So, welcome. My name is DYANN. I am the creator of the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course and community, as well as our midlife mindset shift course. And we do talk about a lot of the things that come up for us as women in this season of life, and how it is we associate with food, and maybe what some of the stumbling blocks are for us. So if you're new, welcome. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. I always ask that you guys please hit that like button if you're connecting with this content here, or maybe you're even just a regular here. All of those things do really help us get this information out to the community of women who do need to hear this and be part of what we have going on here. So let's get started. I always like to start with clearly defining the words that we are choosing so that we have a better understanding of where we're starting from and why it is we might be struggling in a certain area. So let's talk about what addiction really means. So addiction is not having control over doing, taking, or using something to the point where it could be harmful to us. And I think this is where a lot of women especially use the word addiction into relationship with food, because we don't feel like we have control over our choices, or we don't have control over what we feel like we're craving. And so I think this is where the question or the statement of I am a food addict really does come into play. So there's three types of addictions that are, pretty well known: behavioral, substance, and impulse addiction. And I, from my experience with over 30 years of coaching tens of thousands of women, really do believe that for most of us, mainstream women struggling with food and body image and weight and all the things, it's really just behavior, right? And it's behavior that is very socially acceptable when it comes to food and using the word addiction. So we're going to get into a little bit of that in just a second. But the most common roots of addictive types of behavior come from chronic stress, maybe past or current traumas that you're dealing with, family history of addiction, and mental illness. So that's all of the kind of groundwork. Let's set the stage about what we're going to talk about today. Information that I think is going to be really, really connecting for us as we go on to some things that we can do. So remember, addiction is not having control over doing something that we have deemed harmful to us, or we think could be harmful to us. So a lot of the things that come into play with these phrases that we use, especially around the diet culture and body image and wanting to lose weight or wanting to change some things in our life and not being successful, are self-sabotage, falling off wagons, throwing in towels, and food addict, right? And we use these terms very easily and very fluidly and very convincingly in society. And when we use these in relationship to food, it's very socially acceptable. And I want you to think about maybe some situations you've had in your life where you have maybe gone a little overboard. So if you were to go out to dinner and you're like, I'm going to go out to dinner tonight. I'm going to have one glass of wine, but you end up having two. We don't go around calling ourselves alcoholics, right? Or maybe you're using like Advil or Tylenol to manage chronic pain and you take it every single day. We don't call ourselves like drug addicts because alcoholism and drug addiction are very taboo in our society. But food and the way we kind of give ourselves a little bit of a out with food that we're choosing to use, we can throw around these terms and we are socially accepted. We're not considered like outcasts of society, right? Because everyone feels the pain of being in a situation where food is maybe misused, or maybe you deemed that you didn't make the best choice. So these are, I call these terms socially acceptable self-destruction labels that we conveniently, easily, not even really thinking about it, put on ourselves that does create this belief system that this is who we are. And then we back up that belief with the behavior. So we're constantly reaffirming or convincing ourselves that this is in fact our problem. And if you've been hanging out here for any amount of time, or you maybe are a graduate of my intermittent fasting course, we know that wagons don't exist. Like, we're literally not falling off wagons when it comes to food or alcohol or whatever it is that we're doing. We just choose to make decisions that aren't serving us. And there's this imaginary wagon out there that we have allowed ourselves to use to give ourselves permission, right? Same thing with self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is the single most like illogical thing that we can label ourselves with, right? Because if we know we're doing it and we're still doing it, why do we give ourselves an out? And I think it's because of the social acceptance of these types of words, because everybody's thrown in the towel, everybody's fallen off the wagon, and it's totally okay because you have all these people who are going to feel for you, right? And what I have noticed is that food addict is also one of those things that we're just okay labeling ourselves as. And with addiction, what we really need to think about is that's a serious situation that a lot of people are managing, and it shouldn't be used flippantly, right? Because it is something that should be diagnosed and cared for from the perspective of a doctor or maybe some counseling. So I want you, if you are the woman who is using these sorts of labels for yourself, to catch yourself and reframe your brain, because I guarantee you none of these labels are serving you, and they're not going to get you what you say you really want. What these tend to do is give ourselves permission to fall short and participate in activities that are the opposite of what it is we say we want. And here I use the analogy of when you do something and you say something and they're not in alignment, we create this conflict, which causes all these negative downward spiral self-talk situations, right? When all we have to do is make a decision about what we're going to do that aligns with what we say that we want, and then we have harmony. So harmony is really what we're looking for. So we use these terms to give ourselves an excuse for failing or lying about what we do when what we want is different. And I know that that seems harsh, but from the coach perspective, this is the most like clear definition of behavior that I can give to anyone who's seeking help or wanting to change their behavior in this. Sometimes we have to take that gut punch, right, of reality and go, wow, is that what I'm really doing? Right? And if you can take the gut punch and give yourself a pause and reevaluate how many times you are okay with using these kind of labels and descriptions for yourself, then you can catch the behavior and then you can choose to do something different. Okay, so how do we change what we're doing to meet up with what we say that we want so we get the harmony and eliminate all of this conflict? So how do we change? We simply get to decide something different. So if you don't want to be a self-sabotager, you just stop labeling yourself as that. If you don't want to believe that you are a food addict and you are not in any sort of clinical situation or under the care of a doctor, it's just something you assumed yourself, you get to just choose something differently. And when we choose something different based on what it is we say we really want down the road for ourselves, then we show up differently. And when we show up differently, we execute differently. And so that's really what we're trying to get at here. How do we change? We create a belief that serves us. So again, if you don't like the labels that you are using to describe yourself because then they present an opportunity for you to show up to match the label, the power comes in the connection we make in our brain that change the label and you will change the behavior. You change the behavior, you get to change the outcome. So you get to create the belief that serves you. Be honest with yourself. Throwing in the towel is just giving yourself an out for you lying to yourself about what it is you say that you really want, because what we say we really want is really a goal that's down the road. And the decisions we make in the moment is that immediate gratification, dopamine hit. Even if it doesn't create the outcome that we want in the long run, we feel satisfaction in that moment. And a lot of people aren't willing to forgo immediate comfort for long-term comfort down the road. And then we have to justify for ourselves why it is that good feeling turns into a bad feeling. And then we get all those excuses that we get to use, right? About the wagons and the towels and all those are all the reasons why we did it. And it's really just that we just made a bad series of choices, right? And they took us off what it is we say that we really want. Take control of the outcome you want. So if what you want is to be powerful in the presence of food, show up powerful in the presence of food. If you do not want to be the kind of person that's always falling short of what it is that you say that you want, stop falling short and just stick to what it is that you say that you really want. So taking control of the outcome is just the opposite of what feeling addicted to something is, right? Because when we feel addicted, it's like we don't have the power or the control. So all you have to do to be the opposite of that is take the control back. And you are the only person that has the power to do that. Don't let food, right, be the thing that's controlling your life. Evaluate its purpose to you. So if food is entertainment and therapy and relieves boredom and helps you manage stress and all the things that we have allowed food to become for us, that's not serving us, you also get to reevaluate how food is showing up in your life and what purpose it serves for you. This is the power of intermittent fasting, because we get to take the power back about how, when, and why food shows up for us. And if we're really serious about the fasting protocols that we develop for ourselves, and we're honest with ourselves with how long we're going to fast and how well we are going to feast, we get to, in a very controlled and well thought out manner, eliminate the problem. And then we have to sit in that decision of knowing that we are going to put the food off in a very purposeful time in our day where we can actually have some control over it. And we get to sit in that power of not needing food. And this is why intermittent fasting is changing so many women's lives. The weight loss is fantastic. The anti-inflammatory effects of fasting is fantastic. The anti-aging part of it is amazing for all of us. We know that. But the power that intermittent fasting gives back to us about how it is we show up around food, why it is we show up around food, and what food serves us and how that serves us in our life is the most powerful thing. A woman who can sit in a state of hungry and manage her life is the most powerful woman you will ever cross paths with. And that's what we want to create here in our community. And then what can we do to change? Lean into the fast from a mindset standpoint. Don't lean into the fast from I want to lose weight, or I want to change my body, or you're trying to drastically undo some mistakes that you've made in the past. I want us to reframe how it is we show up for ourselves and the posture in which we are showing up at, so that we can create a future for ourselves that is different and is better and doesn't bring with us all of those things that we have to undo from our past. You get to decide today it's going to be different. You don't ever have to look back again. So that's the mindset we want to lean into the fast from. And then the other thing that I think is super powerful that we don't ever consider when it comes to changing and reframing our thoughts about food and how we identify ourselves in a food situation is we have to have our own back, no matter what. Believe that you have everything you need within you today to change the way you describe yourself, the way you show up for yourself, and what it is that you want to create for yourself for the future. Choose to believe you deserve better. Self-identifying as an addict around food is not going to serve you in any way, shape, or form. No matter how many people chime in that they understand and that, oh, I am too, and no matter how big your club gets that wants to join with you, you deserve better. You deserve to be able to be powerful and empowered and strong and confident and clear-minded about everything that you do in your life. You deserve that. And don't let food be the thing that's going to knock you away from that. Have your own back. Just believe you deserve better. Choose to believe you are enough and worthy right here, right now, in this moment. You don't have to dredge up your past. You don't have to connect why it is food has been a problem for you. You don't have to do any of that if that's not what you want to do. You get to just decide right here, right now, in this moment, that you are enough to make changes and you are worthy of better. You get to decide that. Just believe that instead of the things that you're believing that are not serving you. And then choose to believe food will not fix the past, the present, or the future. Food does not fix problems. It's not going to fix problems from the past. It's not going to fix the problems that you have today. And it's definitely not going to fix the problems that you foresee coming in your future. It can do damage to us if we don't get a handle on it at any stage of our life, right? So choose to believe food will not be the fixer for you, and use your mindset and the power of you having your own back, being informed about the decisions you're making, knowing how food falls in your life, knowing how you emotionally and mentally show up around food, and then choose to label yourself in a way that's going to serve you and empower you to make better choices for yourself. You can let go of that label any time you are ready to let go of that label. You do not have to wait for permission. You do not have to wait for a New Year's resolution. You don't have to wait for the first of the month. You don't have to wait for the next weight loss challenge group to start. Right here, right now, you can choose to label yourself in a different way. And that is really where the power comes. So be careful about the words you are choosing to describe yourself, because they will affect how you show up mentally, physically, and emotionally. And when you are in those states mentally, physically, and emotionally, those will always dictate how you act. And how you act on a repetitive basis is going to basically outline the outcome of your life. And if you're not liking what you see, change it right now. Super easy to do. Okay, one of the things I want to also make sure that we address while we're here is saying things in the reverse isn't the power that we want to have. So to say I am not a food addict is really not what we want to have going on in our brain. If you are looking for a phrase and you don't know where to go, I would say I am empowered about my choices. That's all you have to say. You don't even have to put food in there. I am empowered about my choices. You can say, I believe I deserve better. You can say, I am worthy and enough right now. I believe food will not fix my problems. I have the power to fix my own problems. I just have to do the work. Those are all things that can replace any of those negative mindset kind of phrases that you were using before and turn them into a positive. I do understand that this is a challenge. I do understand that this takes work. I do understand this is hard. I understand that because I have gone through all of this myself. And what I have realized in my own journey and in my own life is as soon as I make a decision to change the way I am thinking, everything in my life starts to change in the direction of that decision. It's powerful work, and it's work that you can do anytime you're ready to do it. So I am going to encourage you. I'm going to send all kinds of love and prayers out to you. I'm going to do everything that I can to help you get through this, because I do know that it's difficult, because it was difficult for me as well. But what I can also tell you is that being in struggle and being in conflict and always feeling like you're falling short is also difficult. So be very careful about which lane of difficult you're choosing to stay in, because difficult can be something that leads with power and purpose and can end up in a really great result, or difficult can be, in some cases, what you feel like is the easier route, but can end up really hard down the road. So we get to choose that as well. Okay, so let me see who we have here on our live, and all the comments and stuff that you guys are sharing. I'll go ahead and answer those really quickly for you guys, and then we can get on with our day. Tina, November 21 grad and current mindset shift member. I'm definitely a sugar addict. I cannot moderate my intake, and one bite can send me down a self-destructive path. I have chosen to abstain. Okay, so Tina, I know you and I have done a lot of work on this, and we've done a lot of work in our class as well. So what I want you to really do is get rid of that statement, I am a sugar addict. And I want you to say that you choose better food options, or whatever. I abstain from sugar, whatever it is you do, but I need you to have a power statement that you can lean into and just get rid of the other one that's not serving you. Leona, I am a sugar addict too. I can't stop at just one bite or a small portion. Okay, so again, don't lean into the confirmation of what you're trying to avoid. Create a new statement to identify yourself, and then what I want you to do is lean heavy into that thought. And then just know that sugar is not anything that you have to deal with. If you're abstaining from it, it's super easy. You just cut it out. Don't go back to reaffirming the thought that you want to change. Becky, good evening from Germany again. Becky here, and glad to be here. Becky, it's always good to have you, my friend from Germany. And Sylvia, I think, was on here. I think I saw her name. She's from Germany too. Jeanette, January 23 class, total food addict, but class is amazing. Yeah, Jeanette, what I want you to do in class is get rid of that statement. Get rid of that statement. You are not a food addict unless you have been diagnosed, you're under care, and you're under treatment. That's just something that you have labeled yourself with. And if it's not serving you, choose another label. Super easy. Salome, I think it is. First time live, South Africa, binge watching since September 22, IF 24, most days since then, off all meds, down 10 pounds. Best of all, loose skin from 60-pound weight loss in 2015 is disappearing. Girlfriend, you are just a delight, and all of these amazing testimonials that you are sharing with us, I hope will encourage other women. Yes, it's super, super fun to see all of these amazing changes happen with consistency over time. So September 2022, all of these great things are happening for you. And that skin thing is amazing. That's the power of fasting that we tend to not look for, because we're always just concerned about the weight part, right? But it will heal you in so many different levels. And I am so proud of you, so happy for you, and so glad that you are here with us in our community. Thank you so much. Suda, November 22 grad. I have similar problems with sugar. Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. We know that sugar does have those brain and physical kind of chemistry changes that go on that can be very addictive. So if you don't like that, change it. Just change it. And if you have to stay away from it for a while until you reframe your brain and reframe the dependency issue, then that's fine. Create those boundaries and circumstances for yourself. But we have to just make sure that we're doing the work to get over it, right? White knuckling things isn't always fun. And so I always say, when you're trying to take something out and change a behavior, put something in its place that's going to serve you more. And I went through this when I was trying to figure out a bunch of food intolerances that I had. And I felt like, oh my God, I can only eat lettuce, kind of thing, because I was taking everything out. And what I really learned from all of that test and trial and error kind of things is that when I took something that I was testing out, I always replaced it with something that was going to serve me better so that I didn't feel like I was always losing things. So consider that if you're looking to give up something to kind of break the tendency to dive into it, put something else in its place. So Sanana, I think it is. Hello from Minnesota. Oh, is that because it's snowing there? So sorry. Dada, hi from New Jersey. Hello, my friend. Leona, I'm in the January class and I'm learning so much. Thanks, Diane. Happy New Year to all. You're welcome. And next week and the third week in class, we're going to talk a lot about this kind of stuff about, how it is we show up around food and why we make those food decisions. So you'll see a lot of changes and connections, I'm sure. Dale, hello, classmate. I love it when you guys connect here. Becky, you are beautiful. And thank you so much for being your presence to this world. Thank you, my friend, for saying that. I appreciate you so much. I'm really trying to make sure that we approach all the things that we're doing here from the right state of mind, because I want us to create these permanent changes for ourselves that will serve us for the long haul and make us feel whole and complete. And I have done a lot of work on this myself. So not only have I coached a lot of women through the years, 30 something years now that I've been doing this kind of work, but I've also gone through it myself, right? And so I do understand that it's hard, but I can also speak from the podium of you get to choose your hard. And once you make these connections with your mindset and your choices and the outcome that you say that you really want, and you really are honest with yourself, man, life's great. That's one less thing you have to manage. It's one less thing you have to worry about because you have control over it. And I think taking that control is the biggest first step. Essie, in the January 23 class, I'm learning so much. Thank you, Diane. You are welcome. How do you get those cute little heart emojis on there? That's cute. Sherry, hello from upstate New York. Hello. Hungry is where the magic happens. Help me to get to 24 IF. Trusting and following you was the best decision I've ever made. Well, thank you. Okay, can you tell me how to pronounce your name correctly too? Is it Salome? Maybe Salome? And hungry is where the magic happens. And I think the sooner we get comfortable with what a state of hungry can really do for us, shifts everything in our brain, right? Shifts everything in our brain. And so I'm so happy you're here with us. Diane, my first live, and I am in the current course. My stumbling block is being conscious. I am not an addictive personality except for YouTube. Well, we love you being addicted to YouTube. That's a little selfishness. My stumbling block is being conscious. Yeah, oftentimes we go into like an unconscious state, especially around food decisions, because we're preoccupied with other things and we kind of just drive in autopilot habitually, and we can eat things and then not even realize it. So being conscious is really key. And that's where, again, fasting is magic, because if you take the problem away, which is unconsciously putting things in our body, and we commit to and make the promise that we're going to fast for X amount of hours and we're going to do it clean, then you become very conscious because you catch yourself like in the act right before you do it. And so it is a really great way to bring ourselves back into that conscious state. So hopefully you're feeling that as well. Love all of our classmates here. Maria, hello from rainy SoCal. Oh, California is getting beat up. I am so sorry. You guys are going through such tough weather situations right now. Barb, hello, Diane from Colorado. Hello. Juana, hi. Deb, I grew up in a large family and mom made what she could to keep us fed. Hardly ever had leftovers, so we either ate all that was made, everything was put on our plates, or we went hungry. So my brain was trained to eat everything on my plate. My portions grew over time, but my mindset didn't change. I have to work hard to reverse that mindset. Yeah, so some things that I did even with fasting in the very beginning was I changed my plate sizes, right? So who says we have to eat dinner on a dinner plate? We can eat dinner on a salad plate. So I just made the plate smaller so the portions fit the size of the dish that I was serving up. And so that kind of changed how I portioned my own food. And then we had a discussion in our intermittent fasting course over the past couple of days about the whole clean your plate philosophy and how illogical that advice was that we got, a lot of us in our childhood, is like, clean your plate. There's people starving in other parts of the world. Us eating other people's food does not solve world starvation problems or food scarcity. We're just consuming more of other people's food. So if you really want to do something for people who are having food scarcity issues or food shortage issues, is eat less. Don't eat more. Prepare less. Buy less. Donate food. Like, there's all kinds of ways that we can serve that world problem, and consuming more of our own food is not the solution to that problem. So buy less, consume less, need less, give more is the only way that we can solve that problem. Sandra, good afternoon, Diane. October 21 grad, still feeling amazing. No more looking for the perfect diet to lose. I found it with you. Fast long, feast well, and have the energized sense of calm. Thank you. Yeah, there is no perfect diet. There is no diet at all. Like, I don't even know where that concept came from. You gotta find food that lights your fire while also allowing you to look and feel your best. And when you figure that out, then we just eat for the right purposes. That's where the beauty of food is supposed to be for us. Sylvia, I am a freaking awesome faster. That's what I am. Thanks, Diane. You are, my friend. You are a freaking awesome faster. And Sylvia, I'm going to address the situation that you sent to me over email in tonight's call. If you can't be on the call, don't worry about it. You know it's recorded. You can just go find it in your library. But I'm going to specifically address some of the things that you brought up in that email. So you can look for that. Diane, I'm also decluttering over the past 5 months. A similar issue for people who say that just can't. The exhaustion of making decisions about stuff is object-based. Food can be a similar daily habit. Yeah. I can't, and I don't know how. There's 3 things that when I hear these things come out of women's mouths, like it makes me want to help you so much. So I can't, I don't know how, and I can't afford are 3 things that break my heart that women are so like just accustomed to saying. And I think we need to change that. Like, you do know how, you can, and let's figure out a way for you to afford what it is that you say that you want. Because the reality is, aging is expensive, and aging can be difficult, and aging has all these things that a lot of us have never really been exposed to. And we get to decide now how it is we want to age. And so we need to know how, and we can age the way we want to. And sometimes it does take a little bit more of our resources. And how do we fix those problems for women so that we can have it all? And so that's what I'm working on here as well. And hello, love the little target there. Hello, September 22 grad, eat to live and not live to eat mindset. Julie, 100%. And that's why I say, feast to fast, don't fast to feast, right? So if we feast to support our next fast, we are in fact eating to live. Salome, it is easier to do nothing than trying to control an overpowering appetite. Thank you for all you do for this community. Yeah, do nothing and embrace everything is what I say, right? We have time, we have money, we have all kinds of resources mentally, physically, and emotionally when we lean into the fast. And so that is what we like to do here. Tanya, hi, I'm doing 23 hours and 1 meal a day. I work out 5 days, but I went up 5 pounds. Should I change my eating window or be patient and stay off the scale? I say the latter, be patient and stay off the scale. I always like women to think about this. As a woman who is alive, your body weight is going to fluctuate all the time because our body's always adjusting and ebbing and flowing, and there's water that's being held and water that's being released and all sort of things that are going on. And so just stay off the scale if that up and down makes you feel like you have to like make hard swings, right? Just stay consistent. If you have been doing things consistently over time, then you know those things are working for you. Just keep rinsing and repeating those things. So all the little mantras we get to pull out today. Dion, I'm in for the February class. Yes, so excited for you. So for those of you who have not taken class with us, please know we do a lot of mindset shift work in that class, because if we can change the way we think, we can change the way we feel. And if we can change the way we feel, we can change the way we look. All the things start with how we really show up for ourselves. So that's how we like to do things. I'm going to put the link. I think I fixed it. I took the typo out. Let's see, for today's aging woman. Yeah, took the typo out. So actually the link will work today, which I'm super excited about. So yeah, we just got to show up for ourselves for sure. Tanya, consider what you're feasting on. Even if it's one meal a day, something might not be working for you. Yeah, 100%. That's why I say it could be just a water retention thing and your body responded to it. This is the power of fasting, right? When you take everything away and then you reintroduce things, even if it's for 20 hours out of your day, your body will respond very quickly to something that is not working for it, just as much as it's going to respond to things that are working for it. We just don't pay attention to the are working. We pay attention to the aren't working. So yeah, it could be some just inflammatory thing that you consumed, and just kind of retrace your steps and see if you can figure it out. Dale, current January 23 participant and learning and loving it. I love it. Donna, how do I refocus when I mess up during my feasting window? You just go, well, that was interesting. I don't think I'm going to do that again. Like you have your back. Just give yourself some grace and a little pause and be like, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out. How many times am I going to let that happen? Don't punish yourself, right? And we have a phrase that we use inside of our midlife mindset shift course. It's like, pause, right? And give yourself permission without punishment. So just give yourself permission. That was just a bad decision that didn't work out for you. And you're just not going to do that anymore. Or you're going to limit how many times you do it. And then you move on with your life. Move on with your life. Get out of that situation. Sherry, January 23 class, and I'm loving this, feeling good. I love it. Scarlett, January 23 class, made alive. I just love sweets. So just need to balance and lean into fast and nutritious foods instead of daily sweet fixes. Yes. And here's the other thing, Scarlett, I always recommend is if you really love sweets, just put some boundaries and circumstances around them. So like me, I love me my black coffee, right? But I don't allow myself to have coffee until I've had 25 ounces of water first in my body. That's just a hard, fast rule. Like I never break it. And that's really helped me get my water in and put some boundaries on making sure I'm not drinking too much coffee and all the things. So give yourself some boundaries around sweets and then some circumstances that you're going to live up to. And then see if then that desire for sweets changes because you just put a different priority around them. Because I don't think that there's anything wrong with sweets. I say all the time, I eat chocolate every day. I eat really good chocolate because chocolate is a food, and I just put it in a way, I use it in a way that serves me and doesn't deter me away from what it is I say I really want. Kathleen here from Massachusetts. I have joined your January IF class and recognizing the self-talk and attitude, already making shifts in a positive way. Looking forward to the journey. Yes. We reframe our brain around how it is we show up around food. And girlfriend, it sounds like you're doing all that work. I love it. Sylvia, yes, indeed, from Germany, the change starts in our thoughts and we control those. Yes. Star pupil right there. Graduate of the Intermittent Fasting course, current member of the Midlife Mindset Shift course, all the way from Germany. We have the power to change our mindset. We have the power to change decisions. We have the power to change how we think and feel about ourselves. We control all of that. No one else. Tammy, I love your statement. A woman can sit in a state of hungry and manage her life is the most powerful woman. Yes. When you can sit confidently with pride, satisfaction, a feeling of empowerment, and you have just cleansed and detoxed your body and your stomach is empty and you're like thriving in that energized sense of calm, you are unstoppable. No one will be able to knock you off track. You are just living your best life. And as a society, we have been taught the opposite, right? We reward ourselves with food. We punish ourselves with food. Why would you ever want to have your stomach growl? You need to quiet that. That's embarrassing. Like all the things, cleaning off your plate because someone served you food, but it's your responsibility to clean it anyway. Like it's just garbage, right? When you can sit in a state of hungry, it is powerful. Powerful. And it gets even more powerful when you start to really change that dialogue that's going in your head when you're feeling those things. Bernie, hi, hey, Dy Ann, DY space ANN, no E. Lori, I don't even put the title on how I feel, but lately I've questioned myself. Number 5 wraps up 1 through 4 and 6. Evaluate the food's purpose. Think before you eat. Stress has made me mindless. Yeah. Stress can, right? Because stress can be very overpowering emotionally. So see if you can manage your stress without needing things that aren't tools for managing stress, right? So number 5 is very important. Evaluate food's purpose to you. Food for me is energy. That's it. That's all it does, right? It just refuels my body and gives us the nutrients it needs. So my next fast is off the charts, amazing. And so once we get good at that, putting food in its place, it's very, very powerful. Donna, the sudden death of my father just sent me in a tailspin went through a period of time when I just didn't care. Well, now here we are and trying to get back on track and start off good, but mess up during the feasting window and feel as though I have failed. Then give yourself permission to not feel that. Messing up in a feasting window is what I call a learning opportunity. So you just didn't know yet, maybe that thing that you were doing wasn't serving you. And then you get to decide, do I want this thing to continue to make me feel this way? Or do I want to feel a different way? And then you get to put where that thing falls in your life. You get to decide that, right? So staying in the feeling of failure and staying in that feeling of pity and staying in that feeling of not like trusting yourself or having your own back is going to make you feel like you're going to get into those same situations again. So just choose something different. Have your own back. It's fine if you mess up in a feasting window. It is totally okay. You just decide something different the next day. Now, if, Donna, you are doing the same thing over and over again while also realizing that thing doesn't serve you, you have some options as well. You can go, you know what? I don't really care that this thing doesn't make me feel great. I love it. I'm going to eat it anyways. And you can change the dialogue around that so that you can just be happy, right? Or you can say, enough is enough. I'm drawing a line in the sand. I'm not going to let this one silly little thing have more power over me than I have power over me. And you can just put it over here on the shelf. And you can decide how often you want to have it in or not have it in at all. That's all up to you. It's the thoughts and feelings you have after you make that decision that you need to work on so that you don't live your life in that misery of failure, success, all that kind of stuff. Sanana, I'm in the current class. I've lost 4 pounds already. My desire to have bread and sweets is diminishing. I'm getting full really quick. This is amazing and new for me. Thank you so much for this class. You are welcome, my friend. You are falling into place right on time. Today is Thursday. You guys started on Sunday, or fasting on Sunday together. And you're doing all the things, right? So we're breaking those habits of food. We're breaking those tendencies to feel like we need things that really weren't serving us. And you're doing great. So you're proving to yourself that you can live differently. And the proof is coming from the feelings that you're getting from the decisions you're making. So girl, get ready. Class is just starting. Bernie, November 22 grad, always love listening. Bernie, we're so happy to have you here. Maria, I'm noticing how many times I put myself down for my choices and I started to notice my self-talk around food. Yeah. And if that's not working for you, you got to have your own back. Talk to yourself like you would talk to your daughter or talk to your mother or talk to your best friend when they did something that they didn't feel good about. What would you say to them? And just practice saying that to yourself. I'll tell you what, I only talk well to myself, and I do not let anyone talk poorly to me about how they feel about anything. Right? So we also get to decide that. And I think we reinforce the thoughts we have in our own head and the dialogue we have with ourselves and the conversations we have with ourselves when we also put boundaries on how we allow others to talk to us. So if someone on the internet has something negative to say about me, I just get them out of my life because I don't have time for that. And I don't really care. Like, not everyone in the world is going to like me or resonate with what I have to say. And that's totally fine. I just don't have time and space in my brain for that negativity. So I just get rid of it. And you can do that too. So pay attention to who you hang out with, conversations you engage in, where you spend time on social media, what kind of news outlets you're associating with, because negative self-talk can be that thing that then you pick up from the outside and then start incorporating in your own brain. So I say clean it up in all aspects of your life, 100%. And then the natural tendency of your brain is going to be positive. So we have to watch it in all areas. It's very powerful. Juana, most of the time I'm not hungry. I just eat because. Okay, so that's not listening to your hunger cues. And so I call that just classic overeating. You're just eating to eat. That's fine, unless you've identified that as problematic for you. And if you've identified that as problematic for you, you have to ask yourself why you're using food for its purpose that's not intended to be used for. Super simple. Leona, hello from rainy San Diego. Hello. It's in Afrikaans name. The way you pronounce it is acceptable in English. You're so precious to making pronunciation a priority. Yeah, my friend, I do that because my name is spelled DY space ANN. And I get called everything under the sun. So I do like to pay attention to that. And I do my best. I know I mess up a lot, but I do my best to pay attention to make sure I'm getting it close. So Salome, I believe is what I said. Welcome. And I will do my best to remember how to pronounce your name. Lulu, August 22 grad. Oh, Diane, I'm showing up for myself. Thank you. You are welcome, my friend. And I am so proud of you. Keep having your own back no matter what. If you believe in yourself, you trust yourself, you do good by yourself, guess what? You're setting the example for how other people are going to also respond to you. So it's powerful in so many areas, and I'm happy for you. Try again at 40. AKA Lori, thank you. San Francisco Bay Area, April 2019 grad. Fasting is so empowering, and it gives me the time to break down my feelings about my food addictions so I can reframe them. That is beautifully said, Lori. Beautifully said. And stay safe up there in Northern California. I know you guys are having it rough up there, and we're thinking about you. But yes, that was a beautiful way to reframe it for sure. Julie, sorry to hear about your dad passing. Prayers to you and your family. Take it one day at a time. You have not failed. Start again on your next fast. Yes, this is the beautiful thing about intermittent fasting also, is we do it on a 24-hour cycle, right? So we wake up every day with the opportunity to ask ourselves 2 questions. How long am I going to fast today? And how well am I going to feast today? Every single day, we start with a clean slate. So don't bring yesterday into today's opportunity to have a clean slate. Don't bring 2 months ago's things into today's opportunity to have a clean slate. And no matter how today goes, tomorrow you get to ask yourself the same 2 questions. How long am I going to fast today? How well am I going to feast today with a clean slate? And I know losing family members and having things, what I describe as life happening to us, always comes as something that's difficult for us to process. I get that. But you have to ask yourself this while you're going through these processes of loss and grief and stress and all the things, is how do I want to be when all of this is over? When I'm managing my grief in a better way, when I'm managing this stressful situation in a better way, maybe for a lot of people, the situation just resolves itself with some things, right? How do I want to come out of that situation? And I don't think we ever think about how we want to come out of it because we're so in the moment of it, right? So use these times in life that are trying and stressful and hard and sad and all of that to reframe how you care for yourself despite life happening to us. And then you come out of those situations better. And that's what we really want to be able to do, is come out of these situations better. Diana, I'm totally off topic, but I've noticed a huge dog bed behind you. What breed occupies it? Also, any thoughts on doing a book? I've always used the Sugar Addict label. That changes today. Okay, so the dog bed behind me is for our sweet Callie, full name California Marie. All the women in our family have the middle name Marie, so of course she gets it too. And she is a golden doodle, an F1B, and we love her. So that's where she sits a lot of the time. Thank you for asking about her. And yeah, change it today, my friend. Change it today. Have I had thoughts about doing a book? No, I haven't, but a lot of people have. And I just have no desire to write a book at this point in my life. Maybe that will change someday, but it's just not my thing. Leona, my parents grew up during the Depression, so I definitely grew up with not only the Clean the Plate Club, but also have a second plate of food. Yeah, and guess what? We don't live in the Depression, so you get to change how you show up. We do not have to carry our families or our parents' principles about life with us into our adult life because we are grown up women. We get to decide what we want to do with what we put on our plate. And if you feel like not eating all the food that you put on your plate is wasteful, put less food on your plate, serve less, buy less, create less, give more. It's super simple. We just have to decide. We get to make our own rules. We do not have to live by the rules of people from our past. That we get that freedom at 18, like literally. And I'm 56, so it's been a while. Sherry, I've been watching you since I discovered you at a tire shop waiting for my tires to be installed. I finally took the plunge and joined for the January class. Mindset is where I need the work most. Well, thank goodness for the tire changing opportunity and you finding us here and joining our community. I absolutely love it. And reach out to me inside the community group in class. I want to make sure I say hello to you while we're in there. Angela, I'm in a January class. Thought I could never stop nighttime snacking, but have changed my decision making and on day 6 and sticking to the clean 24 fast. Well, there you go, my friend. You just made a decision and you're proving that you can think something differently. I love that for you. Here's what I also love about what we do inside class and what we do here in this community is that this kind of behavior translates into every aspect of your life. We just do it here with intermittent fasting. But I can tell you in my life, I've taken all of these principles that we use for intermittent fasting and changing the way we think about food and how we label ourselves in every aspect of my life. And every aspect of my life has improved, gotten better, is full of abundance, is positive, all the things. So practice here, and then you can take it with you anywhere you go. Shauna, I spend way less on food now too. Yes. So that solves the I can't afford problem that a lot of women say that they have, especially in this season in life, right? Spend less on your food decision making processes and all the quick fix we tend to lean into, and you will have more money available to do some other things. Lorinda, I love that you address it from a mindset standpoint. It's not just hormonal. It's so mental. Thanks, Diane. These videos keep me on track. Good. I'm so happy that they keep you on track and keep coming back, my friend. Leona, Diane, I too need to declutter. I've got too much stuff in my life. Yeah, we do have that in the midlife mindset shift course. We do a 30-day declutter challenge. It's powerful. Okay, that's the information to join us for the February class, which starts February 4th. Get in. Something changes in your brain when you make the decision to commit with a group of women. It might be information you already know, but something in your brain when you join a community of women doing things that are really good for ourselves in today and really good for ourselves in the future, you'll change the way you show up for yourself. I promise. It's just psychology. It's super, super fun to watch that happen too. Shari, I just realized you on YouTube on the tab on your course on the other tab. Awesome. So you were on Facebook or something maybe, and now you're on YouTube with us. Super happy to have you. Hopefully you subscribed. Shauna, fasting since October 8th. So grateful for you. Feeling incredible. Turning 50 this year and healthiest of my life. 36 pounds down. Shauna, girl, I love it. And the next 50 years are going to be absolutely amazing for you. Dion, I joined and encouraged my sister Karen. Yes, super fun when you have friends and family who are also living this lifestyle with you. It's amazing what kind of things you commit to doing with each other when going out to eat is not the only option, right? You can do amazing things and create some memory making moments with you and your sister that are going to be fabulous. Super, super happy for you and her. Amber, treat it like data. Yep, 100%. Okay, I think I already read that one. Shauna, I have since August. So grateful I found. Okay, I think I did. Did I? Am I going backwards on these? Felicia, November 22 grad. It's work. It is work. Doing IF is making me work on the real issues I have instead of using food to mask or numb those issues because stuffing my face with food only causes more issues. Wow, girlfriend, that's a big aha moment right there. I would write that one down and I would put it in like a journal somewhere that you can maybe put it on your lock screen for your phone and just keep that as a constant reminder, right? We often use food and alcohol and things so that we don't have to manage our life. It's not ending up really well for us as a society. So I'm glad that you made that connection. Glad I found you, Diana. I have healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically. 100%. Peggy, I was told that if I fast for a long period of time every day, I will get ulcer in the long run. Is that true? Absolutely not true from what I know. Maybe one person fasted and got an ulcer, but they probably had an ulcer from something else, but not true at all. At all. Sheila, thanks for your coaching help and info. A great help for me. If hungry is to watch videos on IF, they don't give any calories, right? And remember, we don't worry about calories, right? We worry about our mindset. So calories are not the problem. It's the mindset in which we surround ourselves with food is the problem. Hello, Kathleen, love this program and found a tribe that I connect with. Once we are done with the IF course, do we sign up for another one or is there another course? Okay, so Kathleen, once you're a graduate, you can join our midlife mindset shift course and community. That's a 6-month or 12-month community where we stay together and just work on some deeper mindset issues. And we have 3 courses in there, super fun. So hopefully if you're in the current class, you'll join us for that. If you've already graduated, make sure you send me an email and I'll make sure you get on the list to get the information about when we open it up again. Mel, September grad, I decided to start drinking only water. I was drinking coffee with flavored creamer right after fast. It was a trigger for more sugar for me. Had a 3-day headache, but feeling great. Yeah. Sugar detoxing and caffeine detoxing are very similar. So that's probably where the headache is coming from. And yeah, a lot of times we lie to ourselves and we think that we are drinking coffee when really we're starting our day with a big fat dessert, right? And like if you had a piece of cake, you would think that was absurd, but to put a bunch of sweetened creamer in your coffee is totally socially acceptable. So I'm glad that you broke that habit and I'm glad you're on the other side of it. Becky, it seems like it all comes down to taking responsibility for the choices I make and then carrying on. 100%. 100%. And that's true in every aspect of your life. Just make a decision and go forward. Sherry, I'm in menopause and the hot flashes are unreal. I did 24 before and helped, and I noticed they are not as bad when fasting. 100% because you're balancing out your hormones. Donna, you're welcome for, thank you so much. So Donna said, Julie, thank you. Gail, in January class, thank you for all you do. You are welcome. Pamela, I'm so glad I caught you live. August 22 grad, love this lifestyle. I still test food to make sure it is serving me well. I will never go back. I feel great all the time. Yeah, life is a constant test, right? And so what we have to just get better at is accepting the outcome of it and then making a decision on which way we want to go from there. So everything is a test, and we should always be our own scientific data, our own scientific study, our own research project. We don't need any Harvard research to tell us what we're doing is working for us or not. We know, our body tells us that. So just stay in research mode. It's the best place to live. Diane, thank you. In January class, having fun to be part of this community. Lots of positive women supporting each other. Yes, that's the best part of class is you guys really get to make those one-on-one connections as you see everyone saying hello to each other here. It's super fun, and a lot of women stay connected after. So it's a great community. Apologies for posting the same message twice. You're amazing. Everything is the best for 2023 to you and your family and everyone's community. Thank you. And no worries. I kind of recognize them and then just go past them quickly. My name is pronounced just like banana. Oh, Sanana. Awesome. Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you for all that you are doing in our lives. You're welcome, Sanana. I almost called you banana, and I didn't mean to do that. Sanana. And if I get it wrong, just keep reminding me until it sinks in my brain because I get a lot of names throughout the day. So I'll do my best to remember that. Becky, I'm with Angela. I used to think that I could never give up snacking and am now even considering stepping away from sugar. A decision is powerful. Hope to be able to join the course at some point. Okay, here's what I say about when you're testing something specific. And I do this all the time. I take however you're going to define cutting out sugar, and I would do some work on what the boundaries and circumstances are that. So create rules for yourself about how you're going to eliminate sugar, and then do it for 30 days. And at the end of the 30 days, you give yourself permission to go over the data you collected and then decide how and what you want to let back in. And then you test it out. And then if you decide stuff that you let back in isn't serving you, you just get to re-eliminate it. If there are things that you find that you are emotionally or mentally missing, or did I say emotionally and mentally missing, you also can give yourself permission to let them in on occasion. Those are the boundaries and circumstances part of all of this. So I do that with food groups all the time. That's how I figured out French fries are not problematic for me, and I really miss them. I love me some French fries. I just eat really good versions of French fries for me. So I watch the oils that they're made with. I make sure they're real potatoes, all those kind of things. And so now I can eat French fries, no issues. No issues. Now, can I eat French fries every single day? Probably not, but I don't have any problem putting them in when I feel like that they're appropriate for that day and time or whatever. So you do it with a plan. You grant yourself permission to reevaluate, let things in with boundaries and circumstances, and then just kind of slowly let some things in and figure out where they fall for you. But going in with a really detailed plan with that includes permissions is really key. Lisa Marie, I have had a hard time with snacking in the evening. Any suggestions? Yes. Just don't admit you have a hard time with snacking in the evenings and just get rid of the snacking. So oftentimes we have triggers that prompt our brain to go to certain habitual places. And so I didn't understand like why I had to sit on the couch with a glass of wine. And so what I realized is that I can just sit on the couch with a wine glass and put whatever I want in it. Served its purpose. And so I would just put sparkling water in my wine glass and sit on the couch. And that broke that habit. And so now I can, it's not anything I have to deal with. So find something else to do in the evening other than snacks. So replace that habit with something else and then figure out where your trigger is for it. Shari, my name is pronounced with the short A as in apple, then long E sound for the I. So Shari, I believe it is. You're younger than me, but if you remember Shari Lewis with the puppet lamb chops, that's who I was named after. Oh, yeah, I totally know who puppet lamb chops is. Okay, cool. That's it for today. You guys brought the goods with your comments and your questions and your suggestions. Thank you for allowing me to address such a sensitive conversation and topic, and allowing me to provide you with my insights, my experience, and my coaching advice on how to handle it. This will be living on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page forever. So if you feel like you need to come back and readdress this, please do so. It is there for your convenience. If you are interested in jumping into class with us, registration is open for the February 2023 class. It is where we work on really refining the foundation of our mindset with support from other women in the community. And we just get a chance to just go all in on ourselves for 30 days with just pure joy of really making those connections in our brain. So I would love to have you if you can join us. You can go to the links in the comment section or the description box, or you can go to fortoday'sagingwoman.com and find out more. I love you guys. I love this community. I love the openness. I love the vulnerability. And I love the fact that you guys are here to support one another. There's no better place to spend our time. So I appreciate you. And I thank you for that. I will see you guys back here on Monday at noon Central Standard Time. If you follow me on Instagram, tomorrow is Lumen Friday. We will be talking about metabolic flexibility. We will talk about the Lumen. If you have questions, we will talk about like blood testing and ketosis and all those things. I will be putting a sticker box up on my Instagram stories later this afternoon. You can submit your questions beforehand. I will answer them during our live. If you can't be live, you can just go check it later on my feed. All right. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys later.